Good morning, everyone. This is Scott of the Scott Band, and we're here at Toronto City Hall. What a wonderful way to start the morning. We're going to be checking out some cool cultural and historical things here in Toronto. And although I'm alone right now, I'm going to be joined up by a couple people today. So, because when it comes to exploring Toronto or even Canadian history and culture, why would you want to do that alone when you can join up with some other people? Really quick, more about this location. I was saying we were at Toronto City Hall, and over there that's Osgoode Hall. And then we come over here, that is the old City Hall. I just love taking a look at old City Halls because they are amazing. So the first place we're going to be going to experience some Canadian culture and history is we're going to be heading to a place which is a Hall of Fame to Canada's national sport, hockey. Wait a minute, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Before we're going to check out the Hockey Hall of Fame, we got to have a Canadian tradition. I'm talking about Tim Hortons, or Timmy's. They're well known for their coffee. I'm not really a coffee drinker, so I end up getting some water, but getting a breakfast sandwich and a hash brown. Made it to the Hockey Hall of Fame, it's at the corner of Front and Yonge Street. Had a little bit of trouble finding it at first, but all you do is just go inside and just go to the signs, going toward the food court, go down the escalators, and then once you get down to the next level, you just make a U-turn, and then you'll eventually find the admission gate. So yeah, it's only $20 for a ticket, so not too bad. Gonna check out the exciting world of hockey. I'm not a hockey expert by any means, but I do enjoy the sport. I always watch it on TV, of course, with my native Detroit Red Wings, and of course watching all the different teams, especially around the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. And as I was saying earlier in the video, I'm not here alone. I was earlier, but I have a couple of friends of mine. I'll have them introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Ashwani. I'm Scott's colleague from his workplace, and I also don't have much idea about hockey, but I'm really thrilled to be here and just to learn about this sport. That's my wife.
Hi, I'm Sharmila.
All right, so let's go check out the Hall of Fame. And of course, right here, showing the fan favorites for the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, Wayne Gretzky, who's definitely got to be one of the greatest hockey players of all time. And then right above that, we also have Steve Yzerman, legendary captain of the Detroit Red Wings. And he's actually, this year, was hired as the general manager for the currently struggling Red Wings. We'll see if they can make the playoffs this year. If Toronto can do it, so can Detroit.
So get ready to activate your touch screen and take the TSN Top 10 Challenge.
Yeah, not too bad. So up here near the front, we have the special exhibition for both Gordie Howe and Wayne Gretzky, some of the most amazing and famous hockey players of all time. Of course, first starting up with Gordie Howe, and then eventually Wayne Gretzky, eventually eclipsing the records broken by Gordie Howe. And while you're here at the Hockey Hall of Fame, don't miss the Great Hall. This is where all the inductees are.
And you can even see the Stanley Cup itself there too.
All right, just left the Hockey Hall of Fame. That was really cool, and yeah, I do apologize though if I couldn't offer anything more than what I said commentary-wise, just because it's like I watch hockey on TV, but I'm not an expert at all. But yeah, it was their first time too. So
Yeah.
what'd you think of the Hockey Hall of Fame?
Oh, it's amazing. I loved it. Yeah, it's really nice. I learned a lot about the game, about a couple of great players. It's good.
Oh, awesome. All right, so we're on a quest to get some lunch. We're going to a Thai restaurant for lunch, and after that we're going to be going to Fort York, because continuing this Canadian culture and history video, we learn more, of course, experience the Canadian culture of hockey. Now we're going to take a step back in time, back to the days of the War of 1812. But first, of course, we're going to get some food, and I'll be covering the restaurant in a separate video as a part of my Toronto Ethnic Food Tour. Alright, so we just ate at Khao San Road. It's got some awesome Thai food. How was the Thai food that we had there?
Oh, it was really good. Love the Thai food, comparable to the Thai food that I had back in Detroit.
Oh, yeah, that was really awesome. So yeah, we're all full, so we're heading over to Fort York now, and we're gonna work off that pad Thai. Alright, we've made it to Fort York. This fort was first established just as a temporary fort by the British back in 1793, and then a more permanent one was established a little bit later. And then during the Battle of York, big battle which happened here in 1813 as a part of the War of 1812, American troops took this over for a total of 6 days, and they burned down the whole fort. But as soon as the British recaptured the fort, they rebuilt all the different buildings, and some of the buildings here that were built the latter part of the War of 1812 are even still standing here. So we're gonna go check out the fort and go explore some of the different buildings, starting with the soldiers' barracks right over there. Next, it is time for us to enter the officers' brick barracks. This is where unmarried officers were housed in the 19th century while the rest of the soldiers looked in with jealousy. Attached is also the mess establishment. Boy, this is sure making me hungry. But yeah, those barracks were really cool. Like, and even going in that cellar, which used to be the original kitchen until it was moved to the ground level back in 1826. But these two buildings, as well as some other ones we're going to be checking out, were dating, again, back to the War of 1812 days. Those buildings specifically that we were just in were dated back to 1815. The next building we're going to be going to was built in 1813, but was reconstructed in the past couple decades or so, but still really cool nevertheless. So we're gonna check that out now. After exploring the Blue Barracks, we now enter the number 2 center blockhouse. Although we entered from the ground level, the door on the upper level was the only way in until the 1820s. It is amazing to see the different weapons used back in the day on display. After feeling a little claustrophobia inside the buildings, we head outside for some fresh air with the sights of cannons and an ancient well. Second thought, it's getting chilly. Let's go warm up inside the powder magazine. right, so we're leaving Fort York now. But yeah, we decided to go into the second Stowe magazine, which was a great idea because the first one just had more just regular exhibits. The second one had more like what would a traditional 19th century magazine would look like. Anyway, but yeah, the fort's really cool, but it's like when it comes to checking out Canadian culture and history, it's like you have to go back to back to its roots. Or not just Toronto, but even Canada too. So what did you guys think of the fort?
Oh, it was so good. Got to learn a lot about the history. It's like kind of nicely recreated how it was, and the explanations are pretty good as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely a lot of history there. We wish we could have spent more time there because they're just getting ready to close now. It's like to get the full historical experience. It's like you have to go there for like 3 hours, I would say. In addition, maybe even take like a guided tour because they offer tours like I believe every hour if I'm not mistaken. All right, so coming up next, now we're gonna head back into the present day. Alright, we are here in Kensington Market, but we're on our way to get some dinner here because Kensington Market has so many unique food options as Toronto is a very multicultural city. This is an area where many immigrants from Europe, the Caribbean, and Asia have all settled in over the past century or so and blend in very well together, form a very cool and unique community. So when it comes to experiencing Canadian culture, it's like this is very important because Canada today welcomes many immigrants from all around the world. So this is a great way of expressing Canadian culture today, so it's a very important spot when trying to explore the culture of Canada here in Toronto. Yeah, really impressive. A lot of great restaurants along in here of many different ethnicities, and not only that, but we're going to be covering one more place in the ethnic food tour that I'm doing, not just the Thai place or the dumpling place I went to yesterday, but we're going to go to Otto's Berlin Doner right across the street. Oh, just right over there. So be sure to check out the video. Oh yeah, please check out the ethnic food tour for Toronto because we just went to another great place, had some doner kebab. Oh, so good. It's one of my all-time favorite foods, so definitely try doner kebab if you get the chance. So it's starting to get dark out, so we're gonna finish our walk through Kensington Market and head back over to Spadina Street and then walk through Chinatown. We'll conclude the video over there. Alright, so just finished our walk here in Chinatown. We're on the way back toward the CN Tower and Union Station. Probably going back to the hotel for the night. And then Ashwani and Sharmila, they're gonna be getting ready to head back out to the suburbs. But yeah, one thing I'll say, it's like it's amazing with how multicultural Toronto is. So it's amazing that, of course, experience many styles of culture and history from, of course, the hockey being the national pastime of Canada, and then, of course, going back to some of its roots with the founding of York, which is what Toronto used to be, with Fort York, and, of course, the historic fort dating back to the War of 1812. And then, of course, checking out another aspect of Canadian culture with experiencing what great things immigrants to Canada can accomplish with all its different restaurants and everybody living in harmony. So this is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna get ready to conclude the video. So very special thanks to my good friend Ashwani and Sharmi for joining me on this adventure today. Or you're welcome. Alright, so thank you for watching today's video here in downtown Toronto. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to click that subscribe button to come along and join me for the adventure. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that way you know when a new video goes live. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scott Man, signing out.